Hello there, this is Nightline and I'm Nadia Azmi. Let's take a look at the top stories. 42nd ASEAN Summit, Malaysia determined to play an important role in development, economy and politics. And 5 Sivakumars aides sacked over MACC probe. Good morning. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stressed that Malaysia is determined to play an important role as a member of ASEAN in development, economy, socio-culture, security and politics. The Prime Minister said Malaysia will always strengthen relations with neighbouring countries based on the Madani spirit, together with ideas from ASEAN member nations. He said this in his social media post on Tuesday before departing for Labuan Bajo, Indonesia to attend the 42nd ASEAN Summit. Wisma Putra announced through a statement that the Prime Minister will lead the Malaysian delegation to the 42nd ASEAN Summit and related meetings, scheduled to take place from May 10th to 11th in Labuan Bajo. He was accompanied by the Foreign Minister, Datuk Seri Zamri Abdul Kadir, International Trade and Industry Minister, Datuk Seri Tengku Zafrul Aziz, Economy Minister, Rafizi Ramli and officials. And upon arrival in Labuan Bajo on Tuesday afternoon, the Prime Minister emphasised on 5 agendas during his bilateral meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo. These include an official visit, yearly discussions, border talks, maritime border delimitation treaties and adhering to the implementation of common guidelines for the safety and welfare of fishermen. The Prime Minister, accompanied by his wife, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, arrived at the Komodo International Airport at 3:45 p.m. They were greeted upon arrival by Indonesian Transportation Minister Budi Karya Sumadi. Also present was Malaysian Ambassador Designate to Indonesia, Datuk Said Mat Hasrin Tengku Husin, and Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Zamri Abdul Kadir. During his meeting with Jokowi in West Manggarai, Datuk Seri Anwar also stated Malaysia's preparedness to support the initiative to organise the 17th Joint Commission Bilateral Cooperation JCBC and 14th Annual Consultation AC, which will be hosted by Indonesia to boost bilateral relations. Datuk Seri Anwar also reiterated an invitation to the Indonesian President to officially visit Malaysia next month. Jokowi's visit would be to reciprocate this official visit by Datuk Seri Anwar's official to Indonesia. Touching on the topic of maritime borders, Datuk Seri Anwar said Malaysia is ready for the Maritime Border Delimitation Treaty for the Strait of Malacca and Maritime Border Delimitation Treaty for Sulawesi Sea. This includes the issue of full breadth of territorial sea at the 40th Technical Meeting on Maritime Boundaries Delimitation, which are expected to be held this year. For the land border delimitation, Malaysia is also ready to sign the Memorandum of Understanding MOU involving Pulau Sebate and Sinapat Sesai in the Sabah North Kalimantan sector, via a 2024 package after works on demarcation and documentation at the sites involved are completed. During the 30-minute meeting, Datuk Seri Anwar stressed that both countries must adhere to the implementation of the Common Guidelines MOU to ensure the safety and welfare of fishermen, which has always become an issue in the Strait of Malacca. Joko Widodo, in the meantime, wants to further strengthen bilateral relations between the Republic and Malaysia, including boosting the economic ties of both nations. The two countries are not only the world's largest palm oil producers, but also have established cooperation in various aspects, including tourism and halal sectors. In an exclusive interview with Media Prima journalist Fiza Sabjahan recently, the 7th Indonesian president, popularly known as Jokowi, said he does not want any issue to crop up that would affect the close relationship between Indonesia and Malaysia.
Ini hubungan terutama di bidang ekonomi, di bidang perdagangan, juga di bidang investasi itu juga terus meningkat. Yang ini harus terus kita perkuat, jangan sampai ada misalnya perdagangan menurun, nggak boleh. Investasi menurun, nggak boleh. Jadi harus terus meningkat.
Malaysia and Indonesia are looking towards facilitating more mutual cross-border investments between both countries, where collaboration lies in areas such as pharmaceuticals, aerospace, palm oil processing, consumer goods, as well as defence and security. Total trade between Malaysia and Indonesia grew by 30% in 2022 compared to the previous year. In 2021, Indonesia was Malaysia's 7th largest global trading partner and the 3rd largest among ASEAN countries with a trade volume of 95.31 billion ringgit. From January to November 2022, Indonesia was Malaysia's 6th largest global trading partner and the 2nd largest among ASEAN countries with an increase in trade volume of 41.7% with a total of 120.26 billion ringgit. Indonesia is also Malaysia's 2nd largest partner in trade and 3rd largest source of foreign direct investment. A number of Malaysian firms have also cemented interest in participating in Indonesia's newly planned capital, Nusantara, in Kalimantan. Along the same note, Jokowi said the historical bond between both nations are unquestionably strong. And as such, the Indonesian president said that nothing can damage the relationship between both nations.
Indonesia dan Malaysia ini adalah saudara serumpun. Ini harus kita sadari bersama. Kemudian juga ikatan sejarah kita, ikatan sejarahnya itu kuat sekali. Itu juga kita harus ngerti. Dan Indonesia adalah salah satu negara yang membuka hubungan diplomatik sejak awal Malaysia merdeka, yaitu di 1957. Jadi hubungan seperti itu jangan kita lupakan.
V. Sivakumar confirmed that 5 of his aides have been sacked. Earlier, it was reported that the contracts of 5 of the Human Resources Minister officers were terminated, while 1 officer was transferred to the Public Services Department, PSD.
Itu memang adalah untuk kerana kita nak pastikan bahawa kementerian dapat berfungsi dengan lancar dengan baik.
The minister said this when met by the media after an occupational health and safety event in Bangis, Selangor on Tuesday. When pressed further as to why the 5 people were sacked before being found guilty, Sivakumar stayed quiet and left without answering. Last month, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, had arrested 3 of his aides in connection with an investigation into the recruitment of foreign workers. On April 16, Sivakumar was also summoned by the MACC with regard to the matter. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook said that he will be arranging a meeting with Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki for further information on the reports of alleged misconduct involving the staff of an agency under his ministry. He will also request his ministry to give its full cooperation to MACC and to act on the matter as long as the reports contain evidence.
Saya tak ada maklumat sebab ini melalui laporan media. Namun begitu, oleh sebab beliau ada menyebut berkenaan dengan agensi dan jabatan di bawah Kementerian Pengangkutan, maka saya akan mengambil langkah proaktif. Saya akan memohon temu janji dengan KPSPRM untuk bertemu dengan beliau untuk mendapatkan laporan lanjut dan saya akan memberikan kerjasama sepenuhnya.
Speaking in Putrajaya on Tuesday, the minister said if the report from the MACC is proven true, immediate action will be taken. Luke said the government under Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim would not compromise as integrity was the foundation stone of the administration. According to a media report, the MACC head claimed that at least 500 reports of alleged misconduct from the anti-graft body to several government agencies were left unaddressed and ignored. He reportedly said that it was standard practice to notify the heads of departments, HODs, of possible wrongdoing by their subordinates. As for the police force, the Home Minister said that police should take several measures immediately on reports involving the force. Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said there should not be any denial syndrome as integrity was always top priority for the Royal Malaysian Police. While immediate improvement is a must, Datuk Sri Saifuddin stressed that cases of misconduct involved only a small percentage of the police force.
Kemudian di sisi lain, agensi seperti SPRM mendapati keadaannya seperti mana yang dilaporkan. Sudah tentu, saya sebut tadi, selain daripada tak harus ada denial syndrome, kami harus respon segera. Respon itu maksudnya meneliti kembali di mana lagi kami boleh berikan penambahbaikan. 500 daripada 122,000. Saya tak mau tengok bahawa ada sikit persentage kecil. Saya tak mau tengok perspektif itu. Saya kata jangan ada denial syndrome. ketika 500 itu tercatat begitu, tapi di luar sana masih ada lebih 120,000 yang menjalankan tugas dengan penuh dedikasi.
The Home Minister was speaking to the media after attending police's Aidilfitri celebration at the Police Training Centre, Pulapol. He said it was important to take any remedial measures as the police must earn the confidence of the people.
The southwest monsoon is expected to begin on May 15th and will continue until September this year. Malaysia Meteorological Department Met Malaysia Director General Muhammad Helmi Abdullah said lower rainfall is expected to occur in most places during the period. In a statement on Tuesday, he said the southwest monsoon season will bring a consistent southwest wind, which will cause lower air humidity and less cloud formation. He added that this will cause the number of days without rain will dramatically increase in several places nationwide. However, Helmi said heavy rains with strong winds and lightning will still occur, especially in the early morning in the west coast of the peninsula and West Sabah following the formation of squall lines. He pointed out that the haze phenomenon also may occur if open burning is not controlled during the southwest monsoon, especially from July to September, adding that the public is also advised to use water sparingly throughout this period. In Pulau Pinang, the water reserves at the Air Hitam Dam are expected to only last another 40 days following the hot spell and low rainfall in the area. State Infrastructure and Transport Committee Chairman Zairul Khair Johari said without sufficient rainfall in the water catchment area, the dam's reserves could be expected to dry up by June. Zairul said the Pulau Pinang Water Supply Corporation, PBAPP, had taken measures to limit the output of water supply from the Air Hitam Dam to consumers. He said if this measure is not taken, it is possible for the water at the dam to dry up within 10 days, adding that with this measure, it will last for another 40 days. He added that some premises in the Air Hitam area will be given water supply from the Sungai Dua water treatment plant. Zairul said the Teluk Bahang Dam had also seen a drop in its capacity and its water reserves were estimated to last for another 146 days if there is no rain. The government is looking in principle at the policy for a progressive wage system in Malaysia, and the discussion and engagement process has begun with various stakeholders. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said this is in line with the aim under the 12 Malaysia Plan to enhance the ratio of wage and remuneration from the revenue given to workers from the current level of 36% to 40%.
Perkara ini perlu difikirkan dan dibincangkan secara menyeluruh, bukan saja dasar, kerana you have to balance dengan kehendak kerajaan dan ekonomi supaya gaji itu naik secara berkala, juga dengan kemampuan syarikat-syarikat kita. Sebab kalau tidak berhati-hati, dia juga akan ada kesan yang negatif kepada syarikat-syarikat.
Rafizi told this at a media conference after officiating the UK-Malaysia Clean Growth Handbook in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. He also said the government wants to ensure that the policy framework will be sustainable and can be implemented positively, whereby both employees and employers will enjoy the benefits. On the upcoming announcement for the first quarter gross domestic product GDP growth, Rafizi said the government is positive and optimistic about it. The government also hoped to bring back the country's economy to a balanced path while strengthening the government's financial position within a year or two.
When we come back, top Indonesian police officer sent to life imprisonment. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra on Tuesday said he would return home in July after 17 years in self-imposed exile, just days ahead of an election his party is expected to win. In a tweet posted on Tuesday, Thaksin said he was ready to face justice after spending the past 15 years outside the kingdom to avoid corruption charges. The 73-year-old added that he would not be a burden to few Thai political party and his return would follow legal processes. Thaksin left into exile in 2008 as he was convicted in absentia on corruption charges, which he long maintained were politically motivated. However, the former leader is still idolized by millions of poor rural Thais who benefited from his welfare policies. The opposition Pheu Thai party, fronted by Thaksin's daughter, Paiteng Tongtar, is ahead in most opinion polls for Sunday's vote, increasing speculation that he may finally make good on repeated promises to return to Thailand. A high-ranking Indonesian police officer was given a life sentence on Tuesday for trafficking 5 kilograms of methamphetamine that was originally confiscated as criminal evidence. A court in Jakarta found Teddy Minahasaputra guilty of ordering his subordinate to swap the seized methamphetamine with potassium alum in a plot to illicitly sell drugs. Prosecutors had sought a death sentence for him, but the judge found his 30-year service on the police force as a mitigating factor. Teddy, who was previously the police chief for West Sumatra province, will instead remain behind bars until his death. He was previously arrested on October 14, 2022, a few days before his inauguration as East Java Regional Police Chief. Teddy is the second former police general to be found guilty of serious crimes this year after Ferdi Sambo was given the death penalty in February for the murder of his subordinate. In India, at least 21 people were killed and dozens were injured on Tuesday after a bus crashed off a bridge in central city of Indore in Madhya Pradesh state. It was reported that the vehicle smashed through a barrier and plummeted around 6 meters onto a dry river and bed south of the city. The accident, which reportedly was caused by the driver, who fell asleep on the wheel, has claimed 21 lives, which included 3 children and 10 women. The driver, meanwhile, was believed to have fled the scene after the crash. According to a World Bank report, there are about 150,000 car crash fatalities in India annually, which accounts for 11% of the global road death toll. At least 13 Palestinians, including 4 children and 4 women, were killed early on Tuesday in a series of Israeli airstrikes, ushering in a new aggression on the besieged Gaza Strip. The pre-dawn strikes, which took place around 2 a.m. local time, saw more than 40 Israeli warplanes carrying out attacks for nearly 2 hours on several homes and residential buildings. The operation came less than a week after the Palestinian Islamic Jihad (PIJ) announced a truce around Gaza, brokered with help from Egypt, following a fresh flare-up in violence on the heels of one of its members who had been on hunger strike, dying in an Israeli prison. According to PIJ, 3 of its commanders were killed in the air attacks, along with their wives and several children. The head of the Hamas resistance movement has strongly condemned the Israeli assassination, saying the occupying regime has made a grave miscalculation and will pay a hefty price for its act of aggression. Pakistan's ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan was arrested on corruption charges Tuesday in a major escalation of a political crisis that raises the prospect of mass unrest by his supporters. Imran was at a court hearing in Islamabad facing dozens of court cases on charges that include terrorism and corruption when he was arrested by paramilitary troops. The crisis has been building for months as Imran has openly challenged the Pakistani military and the current government, saying that they are conspiring against him. The arrest of Imran prompted protests in several cities, including Islamabad, where his supporters tried to block a major highway. Malaysia claimed more goals at SEA Games. Sports after this break. Welcome back. On to sport, the 32nd SEA Games. The national contingent bagged 4 more gold medals on Tuesday for a total of 14. The latest came from the swimming event when Kieu Ho Yen won the men's 200 metres freestyle event, the first swimming gold medal for Malaysia in the SEA Games. The 20-year-old splashed 2 gold in 1 minute 48.91 seconds. The other 3 gold medals came from the athletics and diving events.
Umar Osman came out of nowhere to break the national record en route to winning the men's 400 metres gold. Not much had been expected from Umar 20 in the event, but his blistering pace over the final 50-metre saw him clinching an unexpected goal for Malaysia. His winning time of 46.34 seconds erased the former national mark of 46.41 seconds set by Zaiful Zainal Abidin, which had stood since 2001. Philippines duo Majesty Wesley and Frederick Kabatu came in second and third respectively. The joy continued when national runner Shireen Samson Valaboy ended Malaysia's 24-year wait for a gold medal in the women's 400 metres event. The favourite for gold, Shireen, hit the line in 52.53 seconds to claim a comfortable win, finishing almost a second ahead of her rivals. Shireen is the first Malaysian woman to win the 400 metres gold since N. Manimagale at the 1999 Brunei Games. In the diving event, Shafiq Putih and Gabriel Gilbert Daim have successfully defended the gold and silver medals they won at the Hanoi SEA Games last year. Shafiq and Gilbert completed a 1-2 finish for Malaysia in the men's 3 metres individual springboard event. Shafiq emerged victorious with a score of 377.85, with Gabriel taking silver on 365.25. Singapore's Avir Tampak Lun completed the podium. Meanwhile, the national men's badminton squad stormed into the semi-finals of the team event after beating Vietnam 3-1. World number 61 player Leong Junhao drew first blood for Malaysia when he thumped Nguyen Hai Dang 21-14, 21-16 in the quarter-final tie. Beh Chun Meng Goh Bun Ze then extended Malaysia's lead with a 21-19, 21-14 win over Vietnam's Nguyen Din Hoang Tran Din Man. However, Lee Shun Yang, ranked 93rd in the world, failed to carry the winning momentum as he went down to world number 163 player Lee Duk Fat in the second singles. National second doubles Chia Wei Ji, Liu Sun then stepped up to the plate to overcome Zun Nguyen Swan Hong Pham Van Hai 21-14, 21-18 to take Malaysia to the semi-finals on Tuesday.
Smuggled cigarettes worth 4 million ringgit seized. The details when we return. back. In Perak, 2 friends were sentenced to 5 years in jail by the Ipoh High Court for causing the death of a man 3 years ago. Judge Bhupinder Singh Gucharan Singh Preet meted out the sentence on the duo after they pleaded guilty to an alternative charge. The two were 44-year-old Muhammad Iman Divaharan Abdullah and 27-year-old GS Surya Sekaran. They were charged under the Penal Code with causing the death of 47-year-old Ling Hua Chai without intention in Manjung between March 7th and March 8th, 2020. According to the facts of the case, a fight broke out between the accused, the victim and several others when the victim parked his car at the parking lot entrance in front of a Huang Cheng KTV. During the fight, Surya Sekaran had caused the victim to be critically injured using a knife, and he later died at the Sri Manjung Hospital on March 9th, 2020. The court ordered the sentence to begin from the day of their arrest on March 8, 2020. The Terengganu Customs Department successfully thwarted an attempt to smuggle 4.7 million sticks of contraband cigarettes in a raid in Kampung Pengkalan Gelap, Kuala Terengganu last Saturday. State Customs Director Muhammad Nazri Arifin on Tuesday said the total value of the seized cigarettes, including excise duty, was estimated to be almost 4 million ringgit.
Trend kalau kita tengok sebab pantai Terengganu ni paling panjang, itu memberi advantage lah kepada pihak penduduk. Walau bagaimanapun jabatan mengambil tindakan agresif untuk mencegah aktiviti yang dilaksanakan oleh pihak penduduk untuk sepanjang pantai Terengganu lah.
However, no arrest was made during the operation as the suspects managed to flee to a swampy area, leaving behind the vehicles used to transport the illicit goods. Aside from the contraband cigarettes, 2 trucks and a fibre boat with 2 engines were also seized. Investigations are still ongoing under the Customs Act, including identifying the owners of the vehicles as well as their involvement with the smuggling syndicate. And that concludes Nightline this time around. As we wrap up, let's take a look as swimmers from around the world endured cold temperatures and high altitude during an open water international competition in Bolivia's ancient Lake Titicaca last weekend. I'm Nadia Azmi, and thank you for tuning in.